Hey, year 11. So we've moved on from arithmetic sequences to geometric sequences, and now we know that geometric sequences have a common ratio rather than a common difference. So they're multiplied by the same number each time rather than added or subtracted by the same number. Um, and we've also looked at recurrence relations before as well. So a lot of the stuff in this section shouldn't be too new to us. But we are doing 8G, which is using a recurrence relation to generate and analyze a geometric sequence. So this here that I've got written in blue is a recurrence relation. Hopefully we'll remember those, where it tells us the first term, but then it gives us a little rule to find out all the terms after it. So this rule here is saying the next term is going to be equal to the common ratio times the current term. So it's slightly different to those arithmetic sequences. This time it involves the common ratio instead. So we're going to use this to answer the questions below. All right, using the following recurrence relation use the following recurrence relation to answer the following question. So here's our recurrence relation. We can see that this is our first term, and it's telling us that this is our common ratio here. So we use this to get to the next term. All right, generate the first 5 terms of this sequence. We already know what the first term is. It's 10. We were told that. We just need to work out the rest of them. So this is saying that the next term is equal to 2 times the current term. If the current term's 10, we just need to times it by 2, which is going to be 20. And to get to the next one, you times it by 2. To get to the next one, times by 2. To get to the next one, times by 2. There we go. We've got our first 5 terms of the sequence. All right, now let's move on to B, which is about sketching the graph of the sequence. Now with arithmetic sequences, we saw that they were linear, which is a straight line. We're going to sketch this sequence here, and we're going to see whether it's straight or not. Okay, so down here we should have term numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so first term was 10. So let's look at the scale here. This is going to be 10. The second term was 20, which is here. The third term was 40, which is up here. The fourth term was 80, which is up here. And the fifth term was 160, which is way up here. Do you see how this time it's not exactly a straight line? It's sort of curving upwards. So if we connect those dots, it's a bit like that. So we can see that the number's going to go up very quickly. The next one's going to be way up here. All right, let's go down and do the third and last question. So this one asks us to calculate the 20th term of this sequence that we had. All right, now this is the rule that we looked at in one of the last lessons, where it tells us, or it helps us find out a certain term number. So we want the 20th term. So we're after T20. And A is that first number. Now, our first number that we worked out before, or that we were told before, was 10. And we need to times it by the common ratio, which was 2. And then that's to the power of n minus 1. So if n's 20, put that in there, and minus 1. So we want to do, on our calculator, because it's going to be a big number, 10 times 2 to the power of 19. And if you do that, your answer is going to be 5,242,880. There we go. So imagine trying to work out those first 20 terms and end up with 5 million. It's going to be really hard, which is why this formula is super important. There's only a few questions for this exercise, so you should be able to fly through it really quickly. Let me know if you need a hand though.